Well, the trade of the day within the hotel and gaming sector seems to be Tsogo Sun. And I mean, from the conversation we've had, we've been listening to the bias towards that. Paul, take us through rationale.
Yes, look, we, I think, are sort of modestly positive about the industry overall. I think the fact is there's a little bit of a story emerging, somewhat different. I mean, it's come out in this discussion that there are some quite structural differences, with Tsogo being a little bit more oriented towards the hotel element and slightly less geared towards the gaming and gambling side of things. Both of them are looking quite forward with regard to capital spending, which is a good sign, because if the boards think that good times lie ahead and it's worth spending hundreds of millions of rands, then shareholders should be enjoying that kind of trend as well. I think of the two, Tsogo seems to be the one that's got the most momentum now, and it seems to be the one that we're agreeing is the marginally the better of the two.
Marginally the better of the two.
Yes, and it comes to these historical issues. So sometimes when you look at two companies that are in the same sector, it's small differences or decisions that were made years ago that still have an impact today. And for me, the main one is the geographical dispersion of where the operations are. And to have your Sun Cities and Marula Suns and Wildco Suns quite far away from metropolitan areas, not great. I would prefer the operator that has more than half the Gauteng market where the wealth is concentrated. So that's why I agreed to go with Tsogo Sun.
How difficult is this trading environment going to become for Tsogo Sun moving forward specifically, now that that's your pick? Because we've got a whole lot of competitors from the global arena setting their sights pretty aggressively on South Africa, and that for a springboard onto the rest of the continent.
Yes, I think those operators will be more in other kinds of gambling. So Paul did mention online gambling, and another type of gambling is limited payout machines, which are gaining acceptance and are being rolled out more aggressively in our market. So when it comes to competition for the gambling rand in the pundit's pocket, I do think that it's not necessarily a new casino, except for in the Western Cape, because there you could see new casino being moved into the metropolitan area, which could impact Grand West and therefore Sun International quite negatively. But other than that, it'll be different kinds of gambling that would compete with the current casino operators.
Closing comments on your side.
Yeah, I think Tsogo, being the larger of the two, also is the one that's probably the single point of entry. There's not a lot of stock around because SAB Miller and HCI have such big stakes. But I think it is one that's got the attention of institutional investors at that scale. So I think it can continue to move north.